Hey, what's up guys? In today's video, we got a good one. We're gonna talk about getting paid from the insurance company for your water damage jobs, guys. And I can tell you this is probably gonna be a little bit controversial. That's all right. If you stick around for this video, I'm gonna tell you why you have a hard time to get paid and what you can do about it, right? And I'm gonna make the case and just kind of review the history of the insurance claims process, specifically with restoration and water damage claims, and how that relates to us as contractors, okay? And once you see a little better about where we are and how we got here, I think you'll understand a little better about what's going on and what you need to do moving forward, okay? So it'll be a really good one. Also, if you haven't already, be sure to click the subscribe button and click the bell notification. Make sure it says all. That way you'll be notified each and every time we put out a new video, which will be every week, okay? So let's go ahead and jump on in. Where are we? What is Xactimate? How did it get here, etc.? Well, it didn't always exist, first of all, right? Used to, it would just be like if your house caught on fire or it flooded or something, you would tear the stuff out, you would rebuild it, or you would dry it out, whatever. But over time, that wasn't the case. Like, they told us as contractors, like, hey, we really want to help you get paid faster. We've got a great idea. If we can just get you guys to use this software and to create this database of all of these prices from all across the country, then we can normalize the price and get rid of the outliers. And then we'll just know that, you know, there's no need to justify what we're paying for. You're using the software's good, it justifies everything will be great. So just take the pictures and build this thing and we'll cut you a check and it'd be great. But that didn't stay the case for very long, did it? No, it didn't. So we started using Xactimate, right? Everybody started using it. And it went from being a suggestion to being the standard to being the only thing you could use and do. But it wasn't long before they started operating outside of the intended uses of Xactimate, like literally. So let me tell you this, if you don't already know. Do you know who owns Xactimate? Like Xactware, like who the parent company is? So they're owned by Verisk, okay? And so they actually have deep insurance ties. Like the entire company exists to serve the insurance business, not restoration, insurance, okay? And so that's all fine. I don't really care, but I think it's important that you know where the money goes and who they really serve, okay? So they're not founded or based on or by or for contractors. I don't really care. I mean, you don't even have to use Xactimate. I'm just telling you, it's important to know who owns them and who they report to, okay? Literally, they report to the insurance companies, right? And their best interest, their biggest clients are insurance companies. So there's that. And secondly, we were told if we just started using Xactimate that everything would be okay. We'd have all this transparency, we'd get paid faster, etc. But then something weird started happening. We literally went from being very transparent to now we're adding additional F9 notes in the software, right? And having to explain why we did what we did, etc. But then that winds up not being enough. What do we wind up hearing? You'll start hearing things like this. Eventually the carriers, they'll say, well, we don't pay for that. Like literally the entire software was developed so it would be transparent. And then, so they even had line items for overhead and profit. And then sooner or later, what do you wind up having? Insurance companies saying, well, we don't pay for overhead and profit. We'll do it for this, but not for reconstruction. So, or they said they'll pay it for reconstruction, but not for mitigation. I mean, if you're a roofer, how many times have you heard we don't pay O&P? It's gotta be 3 trades. Does it? Let me ask you a question. You ever done 3 trades and they still said, well, they weren't complicated trades? Still pretty simple. We don't think it warrants or justifies. I don't think it's complex enough. These are the words that you'll hear, okay? So you tell me, where is that about transparency, right? It's not. The reality is this. Originally, it was established for whatever reason, right? To try and keep the cost down and to know what the claims are gonna be, but eventually it started to be used as a tool by the insurance companies to limit their exposure and minimize how much they pay out. Guys, if I can address this big elephant in the room here, insurance companies make more when they pay you less. I mean, is it okay if I say that out loud? I'm gonna say it twice. Insurance companies make more when they pay you less. Not only that, they have a fiduciary responsibility to their shareholders to do so. Okay, does that make sense? Which is really weird because like they have a contract with their policyholder but I think they work more for their shareholder than they do their policyholder. I don't know, kind of weird. I think you should take care of the customer first, and their customer is their policyholder. But I got news for you. They're not there for them guys, okay? So the next thing that you'll wind up hearing, we don't pay for that. We don't pay for overhead and profit. We don't pay for emergency services, not during business hours, okay? Or labor minimums, right? We won't do this or that. They'll even tell you that Xactimate says that you can alter your pricing, insert your custom price list, and have you tried that? What did you hear as a result? Oh, well, they just changed the prices. We're not paying that. No, we're just gonna pay off straight. Like, because it wasn't about that, guys. It really wasn't about that. Then you'll start to get things like this. Well, yeah, that wasn't as complex, but let's talk about, anybody ever set a air filtration device, negative air fan, air scrubber? And then you try and bill them for like an air filter, and they say, we'll pay you for 0.5 air filters. I've been to the freaking Aramco and Interlink Supply so many times in John Don, I have never found where they sell 0.5 air filters. Can you tell me where you buy 0.5 air filters? I haven't seen those. Half an air filter, where do you get that? Doesn't even exist, guys. They literally start making stuff up. Why do they do that? They make more when they pay you less. Okay? So, and then we'll get back to this other stuff. Like, what about things like cleaning your equipment, decontaminating your equipment? We're not talking about overhead and profit. We're not talking about emergency service call during business hours. Like, you can give them some of those things, but like literally, if you've got dirty equipment, you try and clean it, they're gonna be like, yeah, we ain't paying for that. That's cost of doing business, guys. That's just cost of doing business. Guys, it is a slippery slope. And if you have not been in this business for a long time, you're gonna understand that. Now, I want you to know, I'm not making the case that Xactimate is the problem. I do think they're disingenuous, but they're not the sole issue. Xactimate is a tool, okay? The insurance companies are the problem, okay? Xactimate doesn't pay claims, okay? You follow me? So let's just talk about that. So let's go back into the other piece. So what else wound up happening? So even after all that, then they started sending your invoice or your estimate off to a peer review. Like, so you would do the work, you send them an invoice, they call it an estimate, and they send it to another company. Let me tell you about how much sense this makes. So this is kind of like the insurance company. Imagine they tell you that we're gonna offer you maternity insurance. So you can have a baby, and we're not gonna tell you where you have to go to have this baby. You can actually go anywhere you want, okay? You have insurance, maternity insurance, you can go deliver this baby down here, over there, doesn't really matter. We're awesome, we want to take care of you. So you say, great. So you decide to have your baby here at Williamson County Medical. I live in Nashville, so I'm gonna use these hospitals, okay? So let's say you have your baby here at Williamson County Medical. Well, the peer review makes about as much sense, and keep in mind, they said you can have the baby wherever you want, so you go there to have the baby, then after you have the baby, the insurance company gets the bill from the hospital, and what do? Instead of paying the bill or paying you back, the customer, right? What do? They pull this one. So they'll call another hospital and they'll say, hey, we're over here at insurance company and we know that you didn't actually deliver this baby, okay? But hypothetically, if you did, would you mind running through this and just kind of tell me what you think? Oh, and don't worry, we'll pay you for your report. So I hope it's good, right? I'm gonna pay you for this report, so I hope it's worth it. I mean, seriously, guys, they tell you you can use any restoration contractor you want. They tell you you can have your baby at any hospital you want. And then after you have your baby, after you hire the restoration company, what do? They send the invoice to another restoration company, or they send the hospital bill to another hospital to review it hypothetically if they were to hypothetically deliver said baby. Doesn't make any sense, does it? Not supposed to. What is it supposed to do? Complicate things to lower the cost of the claim, and that's exactly what it does. So, but why would they do that? Because they make more when they pay you less. Are y'all following me? Is this helpful? If it is, drop a comment and let me know, like, what part of this, right? Let's talk about what does an insurance company owe you, etc. They owe the customer to restore the property to pre-loss condition of like kind quality to a contractor of their choosing that uses local market rates. That's what they owe. That's what they owe. So if you are watching this and you're in the restoration business and you operate in this thing called a city, and you just operate in that city, then you are who they can use, and your rates, if you don't have rates, you should have normal rates. You need to be consistent in how you bill. You can't just go hawing it around, okay? You need to be consistent in what you're doing. But they owe that customer for that. That's what they owe them. How much it costs doesn't really make any sense, right? Like, it really doesn't. Imagine this. It's kind of like, and I'm just gonna be honest with you, some of my problems with insurance companies, et cetera, is really this. It's kind of like calling your insurance company, let's just say Blue Cross. You're gonna say, hey, do I have coverage for cancer? Yeah, my name's Shane. I'm just trying to see, do I have coverage for cancer? Okay, thank you, Mr. Shane. I understand you're asking a question. Do you have coverage for some cancer? Is that right? Yeah, that's what I just said. Okay, great. And what's your address, sir? So make sure I got your policy number. Like, you don't even need a policy number, right? Like, you're just asking a question, and then, well, I take that back. In this case, you actually do. But so you want to know, does your policy pay for cancer treatment? So it'll go something like this. Okay, so you want to know, do you have cancer? Were you recently diagnosed with some cancer? That'll be the question you get. Were you recently diagnosed with some cancer? I know, I was just trying to check and see if I had some coverage for some cancer. Okay, sir. So to be clear, are you telling me you have not, we are on a recorded line, sir. Are you telling me you have not had a cancer test? Oh, that's the thing. But like, literally, or it'll be something this effect. Sure, what stage cancer are we talking about? I need to know some more details. The policy's very, very thick. It's got a lot of stuff on there. It really depends. What type cancer do we have? Okay. And do you have an estimate? They'll literally say, do you have an estimate? Do they need an estimate to go see if there's coverage? No. Will they ask you that? Yes. Have you ever had them say, how much is this job going to be? I don't know. Just trying to see if y'all got coverage for this. We're going to check and see. We're just trying to get some information. How much is this thing going to cost? And I'm telling you guys, these are the questions that you get. These are the questions that your customers are going to get, and it ain't cool. It ain't cool. If you don't learn how to represent your customer, they're going to walk right off a cliff. They're going to put the noose right around their neck and hang themselves. And so this is why they're just disingenuous, okay? So let's recap of where we are. And again, if this is helpful for you, drop a comment, let me know, give me a like, do something. If you guys want more videos like this, I'll be glad to make them. I'm pretty passionate about it. Okay, but I want you to understand why we have a hard time getting paid. Because they make more when they pay you less. Okay, now what can you do about it? There's a handful of things you can do about it. Now I will tell you this, my solutions for doing stuff, they'll get a little bit less helpful right here because I also have a podcast, and I also have a restoration company, and I also have adjusters have told me that they listen to my podcast and watch my content. So I have to be a little bit careful because we got some infiltrators out there. Okay. And so, but I do want to help you. But here's the deal. You just got to understand why they're doing what they're doing. And you have to be solid, steadfast, and be resolved, and have to have a method in what you do. I teach my clients something called the claim control method. And you have to establish control and then maintain it throughout the process, okay? And if you don't, you have a hard time getting paid. You have a hard time getting paid. I've seen carriers pay for things that they don't owe for. I've seen them not pay for things they do owe for. I don't even know what any of that is anymore. I've been paid in full on denied claims, guys. I've been paid in full on denied claims. And so I don't even ask those questions anymore. But I can tell you, it's a game. And if you want to be around, you got to learn how to play this thing, okay? You got to learn how to play it. In the end, here's what I need to tell you. You need to operate with a full level of integrity, number one, because there are some bad restoration guys out there. And you need to protect your customer. And if you don't know what you're doing, you're going to hurt your customer. Don't do that, okay? So if you guys want to know more, go to workwithshane.com, and then we can hop on a call and talk from there. But again, let's just recap a little bit. The history of Xactimate, we were told it was going to be transparency. There wasn't transparency. We got all those details in there, and then we got told that they weren't going to pay for this, or they weren't going to pay for that, or we're not going to pay for overhead and profit. It doesn't feel quite complex enough. I'm like, well, what is complex? 3 trades. Well, this is 3 trades. Yeah, but it's not complex. Like, these are the exact arguments that you'll get every day. and just like blood will shoot out of your ears. But it'll stop shooting out of your ears when you understand what's going on and why. And then you develop a plan on how to deal with it, okay? Right? That's what you gotta do. The peer reviews, the whole 9 yards. I just wanna make the case with you so you can be aware, okay? Xactimate's not the problem or the solution. If you don't believe me, go use time and materials. Turn that in. You're gonna have the same thing, guys, okay? For us personally, I don't even use Xactimate anymore. I use everything in QuickBooks Online. If you wanna know more about how we do it, drop me a comment. If you guys want a training on that, then let me know. I've imported my own line items in there, and that's what we use. And I can literally, I launch a template, I'll get an estimate written and launched and complete within 12 minutes, okay? And man, life is so much better. So hopefully you guys find that helpful. If you want to know more, again, go to workwithshane.com, fill out your information, let's hop on a call and talk. So let's talk about what else you can do. If you would, share this video on social media. Go drop it off. You can drop it into a Facebook group, okay? You can drop it on your personal feed, but tag a restoration professional that needs to hear this. Specifically, there's Facebook groups like the Restoration Rebel page, there's the NORT page, there's RIA, Restoration University. I've actually got a group myself. If you guys have not already joined that group, go join it, and I'll link those down in the description, okay? And again, drop a comment, tell me what else you want to hear, what other topics, and I'm here for you guys, and we'll see you on the next video. Y'all take care.